Hey everybody, I'm John at Collect Cards. Hope you're all doing well. It is Saturday, March 1st. That means, the season is that much closer to starting for baseball. I can't wait. In this video, I want to share a few cards, two of them new, but what I want to do is kind of share these as examples of a pretty obvious economic principle. You buy more and you might end up paying a little less per rather than just buying individual cards. So I want to show 3 or 4 examples of small auction house lots I bought from Heritage Auctions that have really been pretty good in terms of value. Like it's small lots and some not small value. And so I just wanted to show you a few examples of that, including with my recent pickup here from a couple of weeks back. So hang on just a sec. So I approached this from a collector and buyer who's looking for value in a lot of what I buy for my collection. That's partly because I like to be a value buyer, but it's also partly because I need to be a value buyer, just in terms of for budget reasons. But what I've liked about, the Heritage Auctions, for me anyway, it just worked out on their Sunday night auctions, and I'm going to show a card here real quick to get this started, and we'll start talking more. It's a very nice Willie Mays there in a PSA 6, 1965 tops. The auction houses, they'll curate, consignments and divvy them up in lots, often along with singles, that lots that might appeal to a certain type of buyer. And I guess I'm that certain type of buyer because I've gone that route a few times on Heritage in particular. And so this card right here is one of a 2-card lot, one card of a 2-card lot that I most recently purchased earlier in February. And this is a very nice 65 tops Willie Mays PSA 6. I'll bring it up close. And it's like, I'm the type of buyer, I wasn't shopping around for a 65 Mays that weekend, but I'm the window shopper kind of a approach to it. If I see something that appeals to me that, I want to add, because, it's a great card, then, I'm going to, I'll watch it, keep an eye on it kind of a thing. And so I don't always go into these auctions with target cards in mind. I mean, I have a few and I usually type them in, but then I'm also just clicking through the 300 or so lots that they might have on a given Sunday night and see what comes up. And sometimes very interesting 2 or 3 card lots come up that I track, and it's like, well, if I'm willing to spend X, what if I'm willing to spend X plus Y on a given week? A little bit more, you might come away with a better, an extra card or cards even that you weren't thinking about maybe, applying your budget to, say, for the month, but turns out it's a purchase you end up being pretty happy about. And so this one was one of those happy purchases. So this card was part of, like I said, a 2-card lot. It was a 65 tops Willie Mays, and it also came with this beauty right here, the 65 tops Hank Aaron, ungraded. Currently, I will get this card graded with SGC. And this was a 2-card lot, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to show through a few more examples of lots I've bought, and then I'm going to run through, I'll show the pages of each of the auction lots so you can see what I won them for. And then I will also share current average VCP values. I'll show the pages of each of those. So I'll do that in a minute here on a separate video clip that I'll stitch together with this, and we'll kind of call it a video. But let me bring this Hank up close. This is a beauty. Now, I'm not doing a Hank Aaron run, but I've got probably about 7 or 8 of his cards now. Obviously, he's got a ton, but this is a really nice one. I was really, really happy with this pickup. Look at the back on this. So doing some, comparisons on, VCP, looking at past sales. I mean, and what SGC cards of this, I'm hoping, I think this has a very good chance for 6, and I think it's got a chance to do better than that. even with the slight off center to the right. I've seen some examples higher than a 6 that this is a hit in looking pretty similar to this. These corners are solid. Centering's a little right, but picture's really good. I think there are a couple of variations where sometimes you see like a little bit of like the color kind of over on top of the outfield there. I've seen cards, a lot of cards with it and a lot of cards without it. So I guess they had it in a couple of print runs, so to speak. I don't think it impacts the value. I could be wrong on that. If it does, correct me on there, but beautiful card. I mean, the color on the back is just really good too. That blue really pops. So I'm going to show you, I'll mention kind of in a nutshell what I paid for these now, and then you'll see the actual price when I show the video. But basically, in terms of what Maze is averaging on VCP, I essentially got this Hank Aaron for about 40 to 45 bucks. And if I throw 15 in to grade it from SGC, I'm going to be in for about $60 on this card. So this, I think, is going to turn out to be the best small lot that I've purchased on Heritage so far, and this is why I wanted to make this video specifically about an opportunity that is always there, of course, but it's almost like a reminder in case it's something you're not always thinking about. I recommend, even if you're going up against me, let's say in an auction bid, it's a really cool lot option to consider, I should say. If you want to add a couple of really nice cards to your collection that have the potential to really pack some value. So let me show you a couple of other examples. I'm going to show 3 other examples of these I've bought in the last year and a half or so, year plus, all on Heritage again. I think they were all on their weekly Sunday night auctions. I don't think any of these were on like their larger premier kind of auctions. This one I showed recently, a PSA 9 of Gary Carter. I had bought this in a 2-card Gary Carter lot from '76. The other one was in an 8 that I have since mailed out and sold, but I'll show you that page so you can see them together. But oh gosh, I think in the end, I can't remember what the actual number was, but basically, if you added the 8 and the 9 average together, I got this for about, the 2 cards for about $40 less than if you had bought them separately average wise. So. And this is, I think, one of Carter's nicest cards. Really nice Rookie Cup card. So, it's a cool one. So we had that one. And then we're going to show 3 of them, actually. Let's see, I got a 3rd one of these guys. So I bought a 3-card lot last year, headlined by 61 Topps Frank Robinson and a very nice 7. A little off to the left, but a nice card. And also in that purchase came these other 2 61s. Orlando Cepeda in a PSA 5, Don Drysdale on a 4. This is a pretty nice 4, actually. I'll just show this Drysdale really quick. This is a pretty nice card overall. For a 4, I think this is a beauty. I'll show the backs of them all really quick. Might as well, right? There's the Cepeda. This is a PSA 5. These are all fairly recent. Again, I've shown these 3 before. Off center. This one's got a little corner ding there, but little diamond cut as well, I should say. But the headliner was the Robinson, of course, MVP year 1961 and a 7. Very nice card, even if it is a little off center. I'm just looking for, I tend to just look for nice examples. Centering, great centering is great to have. Not always a must for me, because again, sometimes I'm looking for that value piece, and I'm considering going after the 1961 Hall of Fame run, at least for the base cards, not for like the subsets, so to speak, yet. I did a video on 61 Topps a while back where I have basically almost 30 cards of the Hall of Famers. That's like the total run is over 80 cards. It's a huge number and a very difficult goal to try to do, but I have a good number of the main cards and a lot of the big players and all 3 of the main rookies already. So this is something I might actually try to track down. So for something like that, like this was a really appealing lot for me. And basically, I got the Robinson is averaging what I basically paid for the lot entirely. So I basically got a Cepeda and a Drysdale for free, pretty much, if you look at it that way. I mean, you could look at it that way. So so that was a nice value packed lot. I thought it was one I was really happy with coming away with last year. And then the very first lot I purchased on Heritage, again, I've shown these before, a 2-card lot of 1955 Redman Tobacco Pee Wee Reese with the tab in a 6, SGC 6 old label. And then his teammate came with it. Duke Snyder from 55 as well, came in a 5. Both with their tabs. 2 really nice examples of Redman there. World Series championship year, even if it was over my Yankees. 2 really nice cards, I thought. These are the only 2 Redmans I have. I'm not necessarily looking to buy another one of these, but maybe I would someday. But for 2 examples, I thought these are a really nice pair to have to represent this this particular product. Really nice illustrations, great color. So these were overall great. I thought a really nice pickup as well. So anyway, so those are the examples I wanted to share. Let me put Mays and Aaron back up here. I'm going to grade the Aaron probably going to take it. I'll wait until Strongsville, because that's actually coming up in a little more than a month now, and I will be going to it. I just confirmed that. Just booked my hotel actually today, believe it or not. Steve from Vintage on Vintage and I will be road tripping it again like we did last year. Should be a cool, fun weekend for sure. I know a lot of YouTube content creators will be there, and actually when I booked it today, in case anyone's watching this and is thinking about going and hasn't booked yet, they still have a couple of rooms left. So at the YouTube content creator rate. So if you're thinking about it, highly recommend it. It's a great show if you haven't been there. It was my first time there last year, and it was really, really good. The vintage selection is probably the best in the country in terms of just an overall vintage show. It's so concentrated to vintage, so it makes it a really fun and kind of worthwhile, very worthwhile trip to make on a number of levels, because number one, a number of us are out there in terms of creators and just passionate collectors, and just it was a great time, just walking the floor with with people I've gotten to know in the hobby and become friends with even too. And so I look forward to doing more of that here in April. But let me now go to my computer screen, where I'm going to show those pages of all those examples of what I paid, what they're kind of going for average-wise. You kind of get a bigger picture of what I'm talking about here. Again, the small lots, 2, 3 cards, even a 4. I even bought a 4-card lot once that is more of about an even price. So I didn't break that one out to show here in this video, but it was also, I thought, overall a decent lot. It was a 50s lot that had included a Killebrew rookie as well, in a good 2. Wasn't a very great example, but so I would say the 2 and 3 card lots, though, I've had pretty nice fun in terms of an enjoyment of searching for, and also just following through and winning a few auctions. So let me show you those pricing examples, and then we'll wrap things up, so hang on. Okay, so we'll go through these one by one. Here first is the Hank Aaron Willie Mays lot. Now, one thing about this lot that kind of stands out to me is that on the first page or first picture of the listing, they just show the Mays card. So I wonder if some people just didn't see this card in the lot, and maybe they just skimmed over it, even though the headline clearly says Hank Aaron, even listed first, and Willie Mays. They didn't show them both together at all in this lot, so I wonder if some people just skipped it over entirely. And here's what I got. Here's what I paid for this lot. Here's the Willie Mays, currently in a 6 for PSA. Right here. And then here is the Hank Aaron. Here's the range on the Aaron. Let's start at we're going to go SGC on this, actually, so we'll go SGC. Averages, I think it's going to grade, I think it would grade better than a 5. I really think it could grade at least a 6. Look at the jump on this. I have seen 7s that have similar centering, actually. Not many, but I've seen 1 or 2. So who knows? that'll be an interesting send out to SGC on that. So, so again, that was the price for that one. Let's move on to the Carter lot. So here's what I paid for the Carter lot. And then, so here's the 8 here on the left, the 9's on the right. We'll go to the Carter page on VCP. Here are the averages here for a 9, for an 8. So it's about, what's that, 72. Yeah, about a little less than $40 if you add them up separately versus that. Now, of course, this isn't factor in tax and shipping, so you got to always keep that in mind. But this is just kind of based off of what VCP goes for. Shipping cost on Heritage or any auction platform is always going to be a little bit more, so there's also that to figure in too. But still, I think it's a very interesting route to consider for your vintage card buying journey. Let's move on to the next one. So here's the 3 card lot, 61 tops. Here's what I paid for that lot. These all included the buyer's premium. So those are the 3. Paid that price about 10 months ago now almost. Here is the Robinson in a PSA 7. The Robinson alone is averaging a little bit more, by about $4 what I paid for that 3 card lot. So very interesting stuff there. Here's the Cepeda in a PSA 5. And the Drysdale in a PSA 4. So those are basically, I mean, just from a value perspective and kind of what they're going for right now, they were kind of freebies. I mean, that's how I'm looking at it. I mean, maybe that's not the right way to look at it, but that's how I kind of look at it because, I mean, yeah, I will hold on to these cards for a while. I'm not selling them anytime soon, but I also don't see them declining in value that much anytime soon either. Could I be wrong there? Of course I could be wrong. But the vintage market, I think overall is still holding firm. May not be soaring like it did 4 years ago, but I think it's holding firm, and even still kind of that slight consistent growth here and there. Of course, it's not every card. It's not the same for every card, of course, but or every year or set or whatever. But overall, I think vintage is holding its own quite well right now. So here's the first lot I ever bought on Heritage, and this will be the last one I'm going to show here. Here's what I paid for these 2 Redman tobaccos from 55. Reese in the PSA, or SGC 6, Snyder in the SGC 5. What was that price again? There it is. Okay, there's the price there. Reese in an SGC 6 is going for about what I paid for the lot, just under. And here's what it's averaging in PSA, actually, a little more recently, too. I think the SGC, I'll actually click into this one. I think the SGC sale for this was a couple of years ago. Yeah, it's all the way back in 2022. So, but there's that. And then here's the Snyder on an SGC 5. Look at the PSA 5 recently, and actually just checked this. So this was from like earlier in January this year. This price for an SGC 5 was back in almost 2 years ago now. So, and it was an auction on eBay. So pretty on Greg Morris. So pretty accurate assessment there from about 2 years ago. So there you have it. I wanted to just sort of share those prices to kind of try to show the actual dollar signs, the figures in terms of what I'm trying to get at, and basically that is there are deals to be had out there, I think, in the small card lots on these auction platforms, and Heritage isn't the only example of that. So, yeah. So let's take it back off screen here, and we'll wrap this up. All right, everyone. Hope you enjoyed that look at a strategy I've been, continuing with on the auction house platforms. I think it's worked out pretty well for me, and it's something I recommend giving a try if you've got a little bit more in your budget on a particular week. check out these small lots. They can add up to some big value. Okay, thanks again, everyone. Take care, and I'll see you on the next video.